Hello, Hugh. Can you hear me there at all?
Morning, Ray.
Good, you can hear me. Good.
Yes, I can hear you. I realised, in fact, it's happened last time we spoke. My headset's muted until I unmute it. So I have to remember that.
Okay, let me just start.
Right, yeah, pleased to be here.
Oh, good, thank you. So we've got, here's Frank is just logging in, so we'll have Dave will log in shortly. G'day, Frank. I can't hear him yet, so.
Yeah, now I'm right.
G'day, Frank. Now we can hear you.
Yeah.
So we've just got Hugh here at the moment, and hopefully we'll have Dave here shortly and some others on time. Fingers crossed. So we'll just wait naturally a couple of minutes, everyone. Here's 𝗧𝗏 logging in. 𝗧𝗏 is now unmuted. Rucker is just logging in as well. G'day, Rucker.
Hello, Ray.
So we've got you here, we got 𝗧𝗏, we got Frank.
Okay.
Just waiting for Dave to log in. So if you are watching, 𝗧𝗏, no, I can't hear you, mate. No, so I don't know what the issue is, buddy. Oh, hang on, I can see you're unmuted now. Can you talk? Because you're green, I just can't hear you. So there's no volume. No, can't hear you.
I usually turn my speaker off so I don't disturb the background with noises that may occur.
Mate. Muted there. Sam is just there you get it. Here is Dave logging in, our guest today. G'day, Dave. I can't hear you there, Dave, but you are unmuted, mate.
No.
Hang on, did I just hear you then? No, still can't hear Sir Dave. Might be having a play around with his mic just there. Still can't hear you there, Dave, just so you know, mate. So just while we're waiting for Dave to sort out his audio, hang on, there we go, just turned green.
Yeah, how about now, Ray?
Yep, now we can hear you, buddy, thank you.
Okay, I couldn't get my PC blew up Friday, and I'm on the laptop, and I couldn't get the speaker to work for the laptop. That's what was taking me.
Oh, no worries, mate, no worries. We'll just wait one more minute, and then we'll get the show on the road, if that's okay.
Yeah.
See if we get any others log in. So just while we're waiting, guys, let's just get the disclaimer over and done with. So where is that? So traders, we do know there's a risk in trading. Don't trade money you can't afford to lose. Please stay on the simulator until you're consistently profitable. As always, we do need to check the news. And let me just see here. So what have we got ahead of us? So Forex Factory, looking for anything to do with PMI, CPI, not a whole lot here for us today. Let's go across to Econoday. So with Econoday, what do we got ahead for Tuesday? Industrial production, factory orders. How many of these, we've still got a lot saying delayed, so I'm not quite sure how many we will have, but now the government started back up again, you'd think that we'd start to see some of these back on board. But anyway, guys, I just need to go to break even on this trade. I don't want to give anything back here. So let me just confirm that. Come on, get up there. All right. Let me just bring that down. Come on. Damn it. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so we're out of that. Great, all right. So let's just, where were we? Sorry, everyone. That's something you shouldn't be doing, by the way. You shouldn't be trading when you're not 100% focused, and that's something Dave will probably talk about. All right, news we've already covered, and let's not forget we've also got earnings season as well. We do have NVIDIA this week, so that's going to be a big market mover potentially as it comes out. So welcome everybody. So today we've got a special guest with us, Dave. Dave, how long have you been a member for now?
March 16th will be 5 years.
Oh, seriously?
Yep. Time flies, doesn't it?
Oh, mate, certainly does. And so, guys, Dave also followed some of my advice on attending Tony Robbins' seminars and getting the Tony. And I think you did. Did you do Date with Destiny as well?
Yeah, I did 2 UPWs. Unleash the Power Within, and then I did a Date with Destiny in 2022.
Fantastic. And how's that been for you in life in general?
It's incredible. Like I tell everybody, your first 45 minutes or half hour of the head stuff is, it's why I tune in every week. I just never get enough of it.
Yep.
It's life-changing and game-changing, and my family will tell you, my wife, and it's amazing. Once you really let go and learn how to handle with what you're going through with this personal life, how you need to restructure and readapt. It just I can't thank you enough, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Oh, fantastic, Dave. Thank you very much. I'll send me your bank account details.
There you go. Thank you.
Not joking. Okay, so let's not waste any time. We want to get the most out of this. So, Dave, can you tell us about your journey with prop firms and what got you started, etc.?
It was about a year and a half ago. I always avoided them because I lived in the world as, why should I give 10% or give, funds to a prop firm to trade their capital when I have my own? Because I didn't really understand, the logic behind it. And, and at that time, I'm going back to pre-COVID, 2019, 2020, when it was just Top Step, and then Apex had just started coming out, and there weren't very many firms out there. So, the costs were higher. The rules were structured totally different back then. And so I just totally ignored them. And it was, like I say, about a year and a half ago, I was having a conversation with another trader who happened to have 20 Apex accounts. And he was telling me about, making a single trade across 20 accounts. And I was kind of confused because it seemed like, going out and taking candy from the kids on Halloween. It's like, well, what do you mean you make one trade for $100 and theoretically it's $2,000? And it set me on my journey to start investigating, the world of prop firms. And, I've learned a lot, on the ends of risk management, on trade management, on self-discipline, on how easy it is to get distracted with discipline when you're trading prop money. Because, theoretically on, let's say, a 25K account, you're like leveraged 10 to 1. So for every $100 you spend, you're getting 1,000, of their dollars to per se to trade. So it really changed the game on how, structured I thought I was staying, because then I started, with the notion of my time is more valuable than discipline. So then I would start sizing up, and it was quite a journey, it really was. And I slowed down. I ran into another friend that was trading, and he said, you got to treat it almost like a game, like a strategic game where you're building accounts, as you're getting funded from accounts and you're taking payouts. And so I don't want to jump all around with the stories. I'll try to keep it so it's understood. So I ended up buying 5 Apex accounts. And it would have been February it'll be 2 years in February. And I worked on them for a little bit, got all 5 of them into a funded status. And they had a sale to where they were 90% off, which made the accounts that I was getting right around $17 or $18 a piece. So I ended up buying 15 more and funding and getting them funded through copy trading, which we can discuss when we get farther down the road. And I had all 20 accounts, which I had passed all the accounts and had them all fully funded in a 30-day time period. And I was only doing $100 a day of profit against them, so because they were, 25K accounts at that time. And I took them same accounts, and within 32 days, took them 20 accounts to full $1,500 per account payout. And that was my first actual payout with prop firms, was a $30,000 payout through Apex, just from taking 25K accounts and getting them funded and taking them to $1,500 of profit. So that's what hooked me on it. And then, of course, from there, as everybody knows, the prop firm industry has gone crazy. There's 20, 30, 40 different accounts or firms out there, some good, some bad. I don't want to say any of them are scamming, but some of them put, the rules are definitely in the broker's favor or the prop firm's favor, and you just need to know what you need to know as a trader going in, what rules and what discipline and what mindset you need to have for each individual firm. So, since then I've taken $40,000 payout, $13,000 payout, $15,000 payouts, and consistently take bi-weekly payouts across. Well, at one time I had 47 accounts, so I was taking payouts across 47 accounts. I still have personal accounts because there's nothing better than trading your own money and not having rules to follow or discipline to follow. But there's nothing better than taking, like I say, 1/10 or 1/15%, 15% of value, and take $100 and turn it into $1,500 in a matter of 2.5, 3 weeks. So
fantastic, great. And Mask, what strategies are you using?
I do multiple strategies. I mean, I do a lot of pullback EMA strategies, just as you teach here. I don't do them on the Renko bars anymore. I do more on time-based, but I really stick a lot to what you teach right here, just regular EMA pullbacks. I got into doing some opening range, the 15-minute opening range, to try to get a little longer running moves. VWAP bounces, which is just no more than any support resistance bounces. So I mean, I've really stuck. Like I said, I don't want to call them 2Bs and 34Bs, but I really stuck to what you're teaching here, and it's just pullback, support, resistance.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent. What's your have you made any? What's your biggest mistake, would you say? Have you made a major blunder at all trading?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake I made was well, I guess I was trying to say earlier, and was getting too, I don't want to say too cocky or too arrogant to saying, well, it's just a $16 eval. Don't, let's go all in 5, like with a 5 lot. And then the next thing you know, you're blowing them up left and right. And at the end of the week, you've spent $1,000 buying evals because you just have the mindset that it's just a $16 account. But I think the biggest thing is with the way the market's changed, with the volatility. I only trade the NASDAQ. So with the volatility would be with these copy traders, going in with 20, 25 accounts and having a copier issue and then blowing 20, 25 funded accounts that you have $100 or $150 invested into. And, that adds up really quick as well. So I would have to say the biggest thing is losing discipline. And I'm going to stress that to everybody that's going to listen to this is you don't need to be a profitable trader to trade prop firms. This is me personally, I think there's nothing better than them because for a small investment, you can have skin in the game. Once you get past the basics of needing sim trading, but yet you don't quite have the equity to fund, $500, $1,000, live accounts where you could take, $25, $30 and get a prop account and then have that live capital in the game. It's actually potentially could pay you in dividends in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Right. And with the trade copyists, how does that work and how's that been for you?
Again, it's in like with your 34B, when you have a strategy that gives you a defined entry with a defined stop, with a defined target, and you have time in between all of them, meaning 30 seconds, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that your trade is working in an open status. The trade copiers work well. It's when you get into the real volatile whippy markets, and you got to remember that you're taking one account and you're using that as like your lead account, and then the trade copier is then simultaneously placing the orders against all the other accounts. So if you're trading, say, 10 accounts, your lead account is your main entry into the market, and then your copier, be it if it's Replicano, if it's Apex's copier, if it's affordable indicators. There's 𝗙𝗃𝗍𝗍 has a built-in copier, which I don't care to use because you can't trade brackets with the 𝗙𝗃𝗍𝗍 copier, which I'm a bracket trader, so I like that security of a defined stop if the market ever goes against me. But the big thing is just you've got to stay on top of everything you're doing. It's almost like watching 10 markets at the same time because you got to have your like with Ninja, you got to have your control center up showing you all your accounts so you can see what accounts are actually active live in a live trade. And you want to have your trade copier open on a screen that you can see. So if you get whipsawed out of a trade, you want to make sure that your copier has opened and closed all of the trades that you are copying successfully, because there's been times to where you just assume you're out of the trade, but yet your copier missed trades because, let's say, like you go to break even after 6 ticks. Well, in that process, you're actually orderless for a moment in time when you're canceling your stop and then moving it to your auto break even. So there's that split second that you don't have an order in the market. And if when price moves fast enough to where your stop gets lifted and your auto break even doesn't get entered yet, that order then becomes non-existent, and that leaves your trade almost like a naked order, to where if the market starts really going against you, you don't have a stop at all in place. And that's where you want to keep your eye on your money or on your copiers, to where you can manually start closing the trades with the copier by clicking the X button and stuff. It's easier.
How reliable do you find the copiers?
Again, if you're trading, like you guys trade a lot in the slower Globex, time of the market, probably highly successful. It's really when you have the only trade copy issues I have, Ray, is Globex open first half hour, first 20 minutes, when it's just all out chaos, and the market is 50, 80 ATRs at that moment. It's the price is jumping around 4 and 5 points. Instead of going by the ticks, it's going by points. I tend to not use my trade copier the first half hour, just because it's not reliable. I don't want to say it's not reliable. It's a higher risk.
And which trade copier would you recommend?
I'm only copying 2 or 3 accounts at that time. I'm never putting all my eggs in one basket.
And which trade copier would you recommend?
Oh, I have 2. I actually have Replicano, which I think there's a 20% discount all over YouTube for that. And then I also have Affordable Indicators. And they actually have they'll be having a good Black Friday sale. Both of them, I would say, if you're going to buy a copier, those would be the only 2 I would recommend.
Okay.
And again, it's because, if any prop firm you have, if they don't offer NinjaTrader, but they offer 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗍, then obviously you use the 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗍 because Ninja and 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗍 are now one. You would then just log in through your connections tab on Ninja with your 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗍 login credentials, and that would give you access to Ninja's DOM or Ninja's charting, to where you could trade the copier theoretically through Ninja, even though it's a 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗍 account.
So you're still using NinjaTrader then, the NinjaTrader platform?
Yes, I solely use NinjaTrader. I don't use anything but.
Yep, great. And okay, I'm just looking at what about firms that, if you are consistently profitable, one of the questions we had from Wayne this morning, how long before you're not allowed, or will a prop firm get rid of you because you're consistently profitable? Well, I would say, and I don't trade with a prop firm, I trade my own capital, but I would say, well, because you're profitable, they're getting 10 to 20% anyway, so I'd be happy to keep you, would they not?
Yeah, I was only called up 2 times to trade live capital with prop firms, one with Top Step and then one with Take Profit Trader, and both times I declined. And I actually closed the accounts because it wasn't beneficial to me. The accounts aren't going to, the prop firms aren't going to get rid of you. I did read the email you forwarded me that Wayne sent out. They're not going to give you a hard time if you're a profitable trader. First off, like you said, if they start copying your trades, they're making money on your ability. But I don't want to explain that. For me to stop using SIM accounts and going live, the benefit's not there for me as a trader. You're always better off to just cancel that account that they want to send you live in, and then open up a new SIM account and just start all over. I don't know if that kind of made sense. if you have 20 accounts, say through Apex, I don't even know if Apex has ever made a trader go live, to be honest with you. If you use Apex, for instance, just because I don't ever think they have. But I'm not saying they have. I've never heard of anybody ever trading live capital with Apex. But I know, like say, take Profit Trader, when you go from a Pro Plus account or a Pro account to a Pro Plus account, you then you're considered a professional. You need to then have professional data, what's that, 135 a month? I think you have pro data, don't you, or no?
No, I pay less. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but you're considered a professional then, and the only other thing that would change, I think, would end up in the end would be just how you're settled. You wouldn't be settled on a 1099 at that point because you're now a live trader. So you then would gain the benefits of, like in the U.S., like mark to market, short-term, long-term holdings. But again, it would be so far down the road as a new prop trader to even be concerned with getting called up to live trading or a funded account that I wouldn't even worry about. I've been doing it a year and a half, and I say it's happened twice. And both times I've declined the move up, and I'm still with both firms. So,
right. Okay. Time frame that you're trading with your time-based chart. What time frame would that be?
1 minute. I trade a 1 minute time frame. And if the market's really crazy, sometimes I'll move over and I'll jump over to like a 333 or a 400 tick.
Yep.
Though I still look at Renko. Like if I'll come on and say I trade oil or gold after hours, Asian session, or like when you're on it in the evenings, I'll trade right along with you with Renkos. I find it hard for me in the New York session open to trade 24 block or 16 block Renkos. It's just harder for me than it is to trade in time-based.
Right. Well, in the end, it doesn't matter what time as long as it's tradable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So let's start with any questions. Hugh, have you got any questions?
Have I? Oh, hi. No, to be honest, I've been copy trading for some time. So I think that just confirms everything that I've learned about these firms. I use the Apex copy, which is the same as Replicanto, which has been pretty reliable. I have been trying another one called ETP, and I have to say I had a bit of a problem yesterday, which I've messaged them about. Basically, when I use NinjaTrader now as my main interface, because I come from time-based, and I now prefer the Renko charts, and I need NinjaTrader to do that. And I found that what I do is when I place a trade, I have automatic ATM strategies set up. So I have a stop and a take profit automatically placed, which I then adjust. And what happens? I then adjust the sort of stop to what I think is a correct level rather than the automatic level that's put on. So, for instance, if I have an automatic stop at 20 points, I might think, oh, there's actually, looking at support or resistance, it may need to be at 25 or 30 points. So I'll just adjust it. And what happened yesterday with Replicanto, covered it just fine. My other ETP one, what happened? It's the accounts I had with a company called PropShot Trader, it didn't adjust the stop level, and actually it then hit the stop and then went the way I expected it to. And I then found it actually, then for some reason, because I then tried to manually close those, do some manual closing because things started to go wrong, and then it reversed me. So I had a few issues. So basically, I've actually, as of last night, decided to not use that anymore and just stick with Replicanto.
You ran into the problem that I was trying to explain. When you move a stop, be it if you're moving it backwards, which I don't recommend because depending on the prop firm you're with, when prop firms see you adjusting stops, it's almost red flagging them as inconsistency in trading. They like to see things done solidly, like if you have a 20-point stop to a 20-point target, a 1-to-1, they would rather see you move your target than ever move a stop. But to answer what you're saying, it's what I was trying to say with when you go to move that stop, there's a moment in time that you don't have an order in the market. And say you go to place your stop and price, and you may not even see it, but the market makers, move the tape so fast that you're actually trying to put getting stopped into an order when price is actually on the opposite side of you, trying to make it like a stop limit order. And it'll screw everything up. And like you said, it'll leave you naked, or it'll reverse the trade. And the next thing you know that, you're $400, $500, $600, $700 down, and you're confused on totally why that even happened.
I think the issue, I still like to do it this way because I like to have the bracket order. So once I place a stop, it's automatic. So once I place a trade, I'm automatically have a stop put into the market.
Mm-hmm.
But the stop, because you do an automatic stop, it won't be in the right place, or it's unlikely to be in the right place. So I have to adjust it to the correct level based on the price action.
Right.
And I think it worked fine with Replicanto. It was his other copy. It just didn't change it.
Are you trading the ATM mode with Replicanto or the?
Yes, yes, it's the ATM mode.
Yeah, then that's excellent because that's copying however many trades you're copying. It's copying your lead account or what you're doing on your lead account screen, move for move. Unlike if you're in one of the, I forgot the name of the other order there, not the limit order, but just the market order mode. So.
Yes. Yeah. But it's what's the other thing? When Apex, I've got 11 accounts with Apex, and I was built up to 20. And when they had some bad press, I thought, I ought to diversify. So I basically built up accounts with other prop firms now, and that then led me into one of the companies didn't work with the Replicanto, so I had to go with this other trade copier. But I basically, I'm not, or I will still use it because it works. It actually on its own, working with that one company, the ETP copier works absolutely fine. But what it showed me is it doesn't work when I use a trade of 8 accounts as the lead account on NinjaTrade, then copying across onto this other platform. So I'm just going to, the 6 accounts I've got with that company, I'm just going to trade them completely separately using their copier. So that can just be standalone. And I'm probably going to use those for some swing trades. And the other ones I'll just use for the scalp trading. So which I've basically got Apex, Take Profit, and which other ones? Tick. And I've actually just started some Lucid ones as well, just again to diversify a bit.
Yeah, I just picked up a Lucid last night on that 40% off sale.
Yeah, they seem to have good press. So I think it's something they do recommend is to diversify. So I think it's a good thing to do.
Absolutely.
And very easy to do with a copier like Replicanto.
Yeah, there's nothing keeping, as we all found out with fast track trading, which I don't know if anybody had bought accounts with them a year ago, but I had just bought 20 funded accounts, a little over $2,700 I spent, and 3 days later they went bankrupt. Never even placed a trade on the accounts. So, like I tell everybody, the prop firms are exactly what they are. They're a way for you to make financial gains, but never leave money in the prop accounts. You make enough money to take a payout, take the payout. And like you said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread them around. I've traded through 5 or 6 different firms now, and I have. Apex is the largest still, just because I had the accounts. I think I have 13 Apex live accounts still. But I'm slowly dwindling them down and growing with new accounts. So.
Excellent. All right, so we might just jump over to Rucker. Have you got any questions?
Yeah, first of all, thanks, guys. This is just valuable information. I've got about a half a dozen really small questions, so I'll be quick. Is there some sort of qualifying procedure that you need to do?
What was the question again?
Is there some sort of qualifying procedure that they make you do before they'll give you the
No,
live fund?
all they're looking, every firm has their own base types of rules, be it if you have to have, like Apex, you can buy an account and pass it all on the same day. As to where like take Profit Trader, you have to do it over several, 50% over 2 days.
So there is an evaluation, sorry, Dave. So there is an evaluation, I think, before you.
And again, it depends on the type of account you purchase. If you purchase evaluation-based accounts, then you're trading that account's capital. So say it's a $50,000 account, you're trading up to $3,000 to prove your strategy and or your ability to trade. And then after you've reached 53,000 or 3,000 in profit, you then are handed or have to buy the funded side, and then you start all over the process. Now, if I got the question right, is there anything different I'm doing on the evaluation side? No, other than whatever firm I'm with, whatever rules they ask of me, do I need to do, do I need to make the money in multiple days, in a single day? Is there a consistency rule that I can't go over like 30% of the profits? Each one is independent to its own, but I follow the basic rules of each company, and I try to get out of myself, and this is myself. I try to get out of the evaluations as quick as I can, and then when I switch my accounts from evaluations to live, I then have a whole different set of rules and a whole different structure that I trade against the live accounts, because that's where I'm making my money, or I've invested the larger amount of my money. So.
Okay.
I would recommend people start with an evaluation just to get used to it.
Absolutely.
But once you know your system's working really well and you know that you're being disciplined, then you probably are better off paying the extra and buying a direct to funded, because in the time that you would pass an evaluation, you could actually then get to a funded state. But you need to be really clear that you know that you are being disciplined, so that you don't blow the account. So if you start spending money on direct to funded, which costs a lot more, it's good, varies by firm, but 5-10 times as much as an evaluation account, you're going to blow an awful lot of money if you're not disciplined and consistent. The other thing I would say is that when you hear people talk about, there's a 50K account, 100K account, 250K account, they're not really that size account. There's a drawdown limit. So with a 50K account, for instance, most companies will give you a 2,000 or 2,500 limit on drawdown, and some are static and some vary, so off the maximum in your account. But the key is whether it's your account size is really whatever the limit is on the drawdown.
On the drawdown.
So if they say you've got a 2,000 limit, that's really the amount of money you've got to play with. You haven't got 50,000, because when you lose 2,000, your account's blown. So don't think 50, think what's my drawdown limit, and that's the amount you've really got to play with.
Just a couple of novice questions.
The account size value is what they use to determine how many contracts an account can trade. And you were correct with that. When you buy an account, don't look at the size of the account. Look at the size of the drawdown or the threshold.
Okay. I mean, for most companies, if you want to trade more than 1 or 2 minis, you probably want to go for at least a 50K account.
Right.
How does it?
I'm still on micros, to be honest. I find, especially when you're trading so many accounts, if you get, I've got 20 that I copy trade, and micros is plenty at the moment. But I do want to scale up to minis, but I want to get a lot better at my trading before I do that.
How does
Well,
a trade
I
copy?
failed.
Sorry, we better let Rocky get the rest of his questions in.
So I
Sorry,
got some
Rocker.
really quick ones. Yeah. How does a trade copier work? Is it just a quick procedure?
How does it work?
Yeah. You just press a button
you-
and it trades more than one account?
Yeah, when you log into your copier, like Replicano, actually you create that just like a chart, and it looks just like your control center that shows all your accounts. You then click on the accounts that you want to copy against each other, and of them you pick like one main lead account, which that would be the account that you're trading off of your chart with your ATM strategy against. And all the copier is doing is taking that lead account that you've chosen, and it's doing the exact same thing to all the other accounts that you've clicked to copy to. It's very self-explanatory and very easy. In fact, if you were just YouTubed, how does a trade copier work? There's 1,000 videos out there on trade copiers.
Good enough. Yeah. What's a
Yeah,
bracket
the other
trade?
thing is, the other thing that is worth saying is that you don't have to trade exactly the same volume. So if you take the lead account and trade, say, 2 micros on it, you can set another account to trade twice that volume or 3 times. So it'll be 4 micros or 6 micros.
Or
You
even
can
less.
also do what we call cross trading. So if you did 2 micros on one, you could do 2 minis on another. So they're pretty versatile.
Good. Would you say it's a good place to trade live without having to have a lot of skin in the game?
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
Okay,
I would never trade a sim account again.
Oh.
Oh, and I don't say that to try to make, like I know Ray preaches, but we're talking prop accounts here. And like we said, like Apex, when they have a sale like now, and you're picking up an evaluation account for under $20, it's definitely a totally different feeling, physically and emotionally trading live capital as it is trading a sim account.
Mm-hmm. I imagine to get started, you would just start with one account just to get the feel of what's going on, right? Yeah.
Yep. Start with one.
Yeah. Well, prop firms, will they actually ask you to go live with your own money, were you saying?
No.
Oh, okay. Can you get out of your trade before it hits your designated stop if you've already got your profit and stop in place?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing's different than the way you trade now.
Oh, okay, good. Well, thanks for that. That's really informative. Yeah.
Yeah. Only difference is you've picked your prop account as the source rather than like a sim account.
Is it a big deal to get a payout? How does that take place?
Not at all. You just go on. In most cases, you go right onto the website of the prop firm you're at, and if you're qualified for a payout, you type in what you're looking to get out of your payout, and within an hour to 1 day, I've been notified of the payout.
So you just hook up your bank account to it or something?
Some do ATM. Some other will use Rise, and as a payment source, and then Rise will then forward it, ACH it to your bank account.
Okay, that's good. That's everything for me.
What is Rise?
Yep.
It's just like a financial, like Venmo.
Oh, sorry, everyone. Yeah, I'm just going to go down the list here. If you don't mind, I'll call your name for you to speak next, if you don't mind. Frank, have you got any questions?
No, I'm going to listen to this recording again and again and get all the information out, and then I will be informed.
Okay, great. All right, Sadat, you're next.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
okay. Finally, I think the microphone. Oh,
yes,
fantastic! Finally, my microphone started working. So I have one question. I joined Ray's team like just a little over 1 week or 2 weeks. So as a beginner with very little experience, what kind of prop firm? I understand that it's better to start with one account just to see see how this thing feels, and also consistency is one of the keys. But as far as payout rules and the consistency rules, and basically what I'm referring to is which prop firm are kind of little beginner friendly?
I think the easiest to deal with is Apex. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be the cheapest in the end, but I think just to get started, they are the least expensive to get your feet wet and to understand prop firms. And then, as you grow from there, you can look at other firms and build structure off of that. But I think to come right out of the gate, the easiest way is just go right to Apex, get a 25 or a 50,000 K account, and start right there.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Thanks for unmuting.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
Sonora, have you got any questions, mate?
No questions.
Okay, good. Taylor.
Hi there. I guess I was. Thank you again for jumping on this with us, David. I guess I was a little confused. I should probably go and take a look at I've looked a little bit at the prop trading sites, but when you were saying that, like, sometimes prop firms will ask you to go live with a live account, what does that mean versus what you're doing before that, or what you're doing generally? Is it like, are you still working with it's not your, like, when you buy the account, when you go to Apex and get started with, a $20 or $30 investment or whatever, are you still making money off of that? Can you still make money starting?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. For Apex, for instance, you start the account with the valuation. You have to, with a $25,000 account, you have to prove to them you can make $1,500 before you lose $1,500.
Right. Okay.
If you do that, you then buy the funded side of that account, and it's anywhere from $40 to $130, depending on what sale they have going on. And then from that point, you do the same thing again. You make $1,500 before you lose $1,300, and what that did was that got you over the trailing drawdown threshold.
Right.
And I don't want to get into all that because that gets confusing on this shortened time call. But from that point forward, every dollar you make, you're able to withdraw from your account. Now, granted, that first $1,500 is yours, but you're going to want to leave that there because that's your trailing drawdown
threshold. Right. Exactly.
So now Apex won't call you up to live until you've taken 6 payouts on that account.
Right.
And like I said, if it gets to that point and you become that consistent, well, on the 6th payout, close that account and start over.
Right. Oh, interesting.
And the only difference is when you go live, you're no longer trading a simulated account. You're trading the live market. Okay.
Oh, I guess that was my question. That's what I was confused about. When you say you're no longer, because studying with Ray here, like when I think sim account, I think it's not real money. Right. So, but you're saying a sim account in terms of a prop firm is real money. It's different than going quote unquote live with them.
Yeah, the only difference between a prop firm funded and live is when you're in like your funded accounts with a prop firm, you're trading the simulator, you're trading sim time. It's the live market, but you're not entering live orders into the market. You're trading on a simulated account. And then when you go live, you're trading the live NASDAQ, to where if there's only 3 orders at that level and you're the 3rd order, you're the 3rd one to get picked up.
I see. And so, but you're still, but in doing that sim account, you still are making money, correct?
100%.
Okay, gotcha. I was sorry, I was confused on that. Okay, that's great. Yep. Thank you.
And that's it, Taylor. That's all for you.
For now, yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Tham.
I'm okay, Ray. At this point, I don't have any questions. I think I have a long way to go. So when that time comes, I'll probably rewatch this video. Thank you.
Very good. By the way, I get a transcript also of this, gentleman, so I can also send you the typed transcript as well.
Oh,
Of
okay.
this. So where sometimes the interpretation by the boys is a little dodgy, but some of the firms and trade copy names and whatever, I can send you out the transcript of this as well, which you may like. Hugh, have you got any more to add, because of you're also very experienced?
Yes, I was going to add about some of the differences between these prop firms, because there are a number of them. Some of the major differences are, firstly, in terms of the consistency. So some of them will have zero consistency. I think like Top Step and Take Profit
What do you
Trader
mean by
want
that?
you.
Sorry, what do you mean by it?
For instance, you're not allowed to earn more than 8% of your total profits. A percentage of those profits you can't earn more than that on any one day. So for instance, with Apex, they have a 30% consistency rule. So if you say trade for 5 days and reach a payout, no one of those 5 days can make up more than 30% of the payout you're requesting.
They're trying to prevent traders from having a windfall trade, like catching a news bar and making $1,000 without a skill or strategy, and then trying to get paid for that. That's why they have consistency rules.
Yes, certainly for the type of trading that we do here, it's really not an issue. You're just not going to be hitting that, because it's far more, I would say, it's definitely a more consistent approach, because it's scalping, not going for that massive win in one go. And that is, I think that's why Apex had problems going back a year or so, is because there were too many traders that were buying a load of accounts and literally flipping them one at a time, just trying to get that massive win. And then when they got it, it's the prop firm taking the hit. So a lot of them are trying to stop that happening. The other factor is that some of the firms, you have to go from evaluation to a payout account. You have to pay a fee, and that's certainly true with probably most of them. Right? So, or some of them have some with fees and some without. So with Apex, they will have a fee, which most of the time these days is about $85 to convert from an evaluation account. Some other companies like Take Profit Trader have a zero fee. Well, certainly when there's a sale, but they always have sales. So just look around all the different prop firms, have a look at their rules, have a look at their monthly fees and their conversion fees. Because for instance, Take Profit Trader will charge $100 a month almost on their standard sale, but then they don't charge a monthly fee when you pass. So if you pass quickly, it's good value. But if you take a few months to pass it, it's a costly way of doing it. So you need to have a think about the type of trading you're doing, how long you think it will take to pass the account, and be realistic with yourself about that, and look at the total cost of actually getting to a real account. The other one is just look at the other rules. So some firms have no news trading. I think Apex allow news trading, but most firms don't. So you need to look at all their different rules, all their costs, both to start an evaluation and if there's a fee to pass, and just look at them all and decide which one is most likely to be beneficial to you based on the way you trade and the amount of time, how conservative or how much risk you want to take. And the other thing I would say is, there's going to be some great Black Friday deals, so I wouldn't jump in now until you see one of those.
Great feedback. Thanks, Hugh. So, any other questions for David? For Dave, while we've got him here.
And the only thing I didn't say, Ray, was that first payout I took that $30,000 payout only trading micros. So traders, it can be done with just micros.
Mm-hmm. So with a $2,500, say a $2,000 to $2,500 drawdown ability per 50,000, what would you recommend, Dave? How many contracts would you be trading with that?
I would trade. I would try like on a standard trade. I would trade 5 micros on that, and then have like your A++ bet the farm would maybe go in with 10, and then if the trader is able to scale, take half off at a target and the other half at a second target, rather than go in with just one mini. See, Apex doesn't charge anything for commissions on micros other than the exchange fees. So it gives you a little more room for scaling in and out of trades or runners if you're able to do that.
Okay.
Question.
Now, you go, Rucker.
So there's one other key factor that you need to be aware of with some companies like Apex, which is they don't allow you to significantly change the number of contracts that you're trading. So if you're regularly trading, say, 4 or 5 contracts, if you suddenly double that or more, then they will probably deny your payout. You don't lose the money, you just won't get that payout, and you then have to wait till the next payout rotation before you can get money out. So just be careful with some companies. If you want to change the number of contracts significantly, be careful which company you choose.
When you start with a new firm, do you have to reset up all your charts with NinjaTrader again through them or something?
No.
All you're doing is adding a connection to your connections tab.
Okay, great.
So when you log into Ninja, like your personal account comes up that shows your SIM accounts. You then open the connections tab and you would click like I click, I have Hulk Apex. I click that, and then I have a second link opens, which then shows my Apex accounts.
Ah, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions or feedback, gentlemen?
Well, it was Taylor here. It was good to hear about the micros because that's kind of what I'm working on right now. So like trading the MES 4 or 5 contracts, you'd say is a totally doable thing on the
absolutely
prop firm. Great.
Absolutely.
So the commissions come out for them, not for you, right?
What's that?
You don't pay for the commissions; it just comes out of that account that they've already got.
Well, the commissions it's simulated, so they're charging you what the exchange fee would be, just to kind of make it more realistic.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, actually, you still pay commissions for trading when it's Microsoft. But it's an interesting point because something I noticed because I've been copy trading several different companies. Is some of them charge more than others for commissions. So two of the best ones for commissions are Apex and Lucid. I've noticed Profit Trader are quite good as well. But two that aren't, which one are the ones? Tradify was quite costly.
They're horrendous.
I think Tick are quite expensive too.
Sorry, David. What did you say then? We only half.
I was agreeing with him, saying Tradify, they're very expensive. They charge you the same for a micro as they do a mini.
Wow.
Oh right. Oh wow.
And if you go in with 10 minis, that's a $50 round trip.
Oh,
Good
crazy.
to know.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I would agree with Dave that the best one to start with is probably Apex.
Right.
Especially when they have their big sales.
Yeah, only because you're getting into the prop firm inexpensively. Yes, if you pass it, you may have to pay if you fund it. But if you fail it, you're only losing $16 to $20, $25. It's not like going to take profit where it's $105 with no other fees, but then it's $105 if you fail it.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Well, we've got Dave and even Hugh here. Both of them have got. So.
Oh, I've got one other piece of advice. Personally, is I wouldn't use Top Step, and not because I've got anything against them, but I have got a Top Step account problem with them is that because of the way they've got things set up, I can't copy trade it. So
Yeah, you
it's
can't copy trade with them.
so if you want to copy trade, avoid Top Step, unless you solely want to be with Top Step.
Okay, what was that, David?
I have Top Step accounts. If you have Top Step accounts through Rhythmic, you're okay. But if you have Top Step their X accounts, then you don't have the ability because those are through the Trading View.
Yes, and they only do Project X now. They don't offer the
Project X. Ray, I will say, Ray, with your group here, not so much your main Tuesday, Thursday group. If anybody has questions and they reach out to you, just give them my email address. I have no problem spending time with somebody.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, great. Thanks for that. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Yes, we've got a few thousand. We've got
over firms.
Yeah, we've got a few thousand very active members, so I don't think I better hand out
anybody
your
that
details.
Wants to take any trader that takes the extra time to do what they're doing here to better themselves by getting deeper into the system, I have no problem helping.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Excellent. All right, guys, we'll finish that up on that. But just before we go, let's just do a quick recap of some potential trades we've had, or trades I've already had, and make sure we may as well finish up with some education as well. So on the two-tick, so Dave, you're welcome to stick around, mate, and thanks very much for that. I know we all really appreciate that. So let me just turn this on. So this is on the ES. So when the market opened, excellent volume, very volatile this afternoon. I was trading gold, guys, and let me tell you, it was I even got up to the 8 tick and it was a beast. So I had to had 3 trades, 3 wins, but it was just too crazy. All right, so we can see we've got a rollover T20-1 there, 2B coming down here, just following the cloud. And as you know, I recommend that you just trade with the trend initially. And I'm just going to show you the plain vanilla trades. I was going to jump on that 2D. I was a bit slow on that one. Then jumped just here, breaking out. And I'm just trying to think on the anchor chart. I haven't had a chance to label what these were, but I was out with that one. Some other potential entries. I was out there. Then we had another, rode this all the way up. Okay, kept my stop where my entry was, come nowhere near, well, except that's not quite true. I come within a couple of ticks here of being stopped, and I was after 8 to 10 ticks. There was a beautiful 1D. I'm kicking myself I didn't take. Then I had a little trade here, jumped out of that one. I can hear some background from there. Someone was just talking then. Then I took this one here, got out, picked only up a tick or 2, and I was kicking myself. I could have picked up a clear 6 or 7 ticks down here. It ticked up. I was looking for it to come down to the 600 here. Then I went long based upon the anchor chart 1 candle closing, and that was also a 2B up here and an 89B. And that was it. And then we started to chop around. Now, if we had continued to trade, I would have then had a nice 2B here where I would have been stopped on. Okay, it did look nice, but it didn't go too far. We rolled over, and I think then we could see as the session was underway, just some beautiful trades thereafter that we could have taken. Now, you've heard me talk about these deep pullbacks to the 200. Wait until you get divergence, and that was just a perfect example of just waiting for that divergence with your deeper retracements. And down we went again. So some fantastic trading right here. So any questions, guys, as we finish up? I know there was a quick recap, but
No.
no questions. Everyone's good.
No, I just wanted to know what time do you start for the in the global session?
Depends on the market. Like the ES, you can start trading virtually straight away. The NQ, with the problem with the NQ when the Globex market opens is there's no volume. Okay, we've got 30, 40, 50, 100 contracts being traded here in a 𝗔𝗃, where on the NQ, very thinly traded. But then if we go to the 6E or the 6J, which I do love, very quiet for the first couple of hours. So if we look at the market here, that's 2 hours of price action basically on the 6J. And even on the 6E, this is actually on the 6E, 2 hours of price action. Now, gold is another story again. Gold just down there 8. I'm just looking at how many contracts there. 5, fairly not a huge volume, but once again, just some fantastic volatility. And as I say, always, we've got to be careful of that. Just see how we spike then. That's where if we're not trading the right time frame, and if it's too fast, it'll go straight through your stops. Okay, and that's where then you end up with a lot of slip, of course, slippage. How do you find the slippage with the prop firms, David? If I can ask, if you're still there, mate. Dave may not have his headset on. Hugh, have you still got yours on? How do you find slippage with the trade copy?
I'm sorry, Ray, I turned the mic off. You don't run into a very large problem with it because you're not in the live market under bid. So maybe a tick or two at times.
Okay. I did suffer slippage of about a point the other day on gold. But yeah, gold's been quite volatile, so I think I would say that they try to make the sim environment as close as possible to the real environment. So slippage happens. I don't think it can be avoided if it's when the market's moving really fast. When the market is moving very fast, I just wait. I just don't trade it.
Well, this is 9 minutes on the 8 tick on gold. Now, following the 2% money management rule, you need to then have a $14,000 account if you're going to trade the 8 tick. And so it's way up there, but once again, gold is a total different animal than what it was 6-12 months ago. And if you can trade it correctly, it's just a fantastic market to trade, as is the ES, as is the currency futures, and as Dave said, as is the NQ as well. So guys, I'll forward you the transcript. I'll email it out to you all. Dave, once again, as always, my friend, thank you very much. Hugh, thank you for your input as well. That was excellent. So guys, we'll finish up here, but thanks very much, and we'll see you in the next session.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, David.
Right, thanks everyone. Cheers. Good trading. Cheers.